Hey everyone, it's me, Doomlink, and welcome back to Doomlink's Live Hunts. As I promised, I've actually found a... Well, I have found a room in which to hunt, although I wasn't really intending on, you know, a cold start into 100 miles an hour by immediately starting with an EX hunt, but fine. Bye, says Mudkip. Yeah, Mudkip cannot actually join, so that's a bit of a shame for him. Obviously, Jose, I don't know how to say his bloody name, but Jose Nonox really doesn't care about being inclusive. It's all about him and doing what he wants, so that's very nice of him. And that discourtesy is officially on the record. I hope you're all doing well. I'm doing reasonably well. I've returned to Generations Ultimate, which might delight some of you and displease others. But I think what would please most of you is that I am recording, and I'm recording Monster Hunter furthermore. So, I'd say that's a good thing overall. I do have a beverage today. A good beverage. One might even say an exceptional beverage. I think I deserve it. I might need it to get through this. I don't know what I want to bring. Grimclaw Tigrex is not a monster that I'm comfortable fighting because I don't understand his moves very well at all. As I understand it, he is one of the deviants from Monster Hunter Generations, and I didn't really fight any of those. At least not properly. Not back then, and not really now either. So, yeah, I don't really know what to expect. Probably failure. So I suppose what I'm going to have to do, and I apologize for this, it's terribly predictable, but I will equip this. That was another person who was sadly unable to join, because this person has essentially blocked the vast majority of people playing this game right now from actually participating by posting this quest. Because again, it's all about him. He could seriously just make a room, and once again, here is a person who cannot join. This is the third person now. What a waste of my time and a waste of their time, and quite frankly, just this person who's posted this quest is a blight on the community. Anyway. There goes Crackit. How many people are we going to cycle through? Probably every single person playing right now. I'm not departing with 3 people on this quest, at least not yet. I'm going to wait until the 4th person, and I'm also going to take this opportunity to pour my beverage. So the beverage that I have today is a stout. It is Filter Caribbean Stout. It's a pretty nice one. The label is backwards, incidentally. I don't want there to be some sort of confusion. No, it is not the new style, the new in thing. It is not in vogue to be having your can labels mirrored. But you'll notice that the glass here does match perfectly the color of this can. It's one of the reasons why I'm using this glass. I only got a single can today, so I wanted a smaller glass to be able to enjoy it a little more. And I do love the, I guess the color matching. Not only is this can matching the glass, the head of the beer, you will find, will also match the glass. It is because it's a, you know, rusty bronze colored head. That is the case with a lot of stouts. I'm very much looking forward to this one. I don't have stouts often enough these days. Ugh. I hate pouring from cans. It couldn't be more inappropriate to pour into a glass like this from a can, but whatever. Fairly aromatic. Initial verdict is that it's not especially flavoursome. It definitely has a flavour. It's... oh, here we go, we actually got someone. Morgan at Hunter Rank 425, he has hunted all deviant monsters to EX level on his own. Well, what I mean is that he's done his own deviant monsters, that's what I mean. I don't mean to suggest for a moment that he soloed them, that would be pretty impressive, but no, he didn't do that. Just trying to get an understanding of the flavour of this beer. There's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't have a bad flavor. It's just a little bit too mild, I think. There could be a number of factors at play there. Oh, I'm such a fucking idiot. I literally didn't bring ammunition. I was so distracted by the stupidity, A, of the person who posted this quest, and B, well, no, the second point doesn't relate to stupidity, which was really the suggestion of how I phrased that. The second thing I was distracted by was my beverage, and so I didn't actually bring any ammunition. I'm just going to hope that what I hold is sufficient. I really don't know. I'm gonna just pray. And you know what I could also hope for? I could hope for quest failure. Before it becomes... Well, there you go, we've already got one feint. So it is entirely possible that we will fail this quest before I get to the point where I'm out of ammunition. And essentially, well, this is... Yeah, you know what? Let's try another room, shall we? I'm not doing this. If we're going to get 2 feints within the first 60 seconds of the hunt, there's no real point in sticking around, is there? There really isn't. They might think I'm a bad sport. I'm not, actually. Generally, I don't like leaving hunts. It does require, you know, a considerable event to take place to get me to leave a room, and to be honest, 2 deaths within the first 60 seconds would be an example of that. I'm not wasting my time, sorry. Let's find another room. Speaking of wasting my time, I do have to admit that I will be wasting quite a lot of it by looking for another room, but better to do that than to sit in a room or sit in a quest that I'm going to fail anyway. That's how I look at it. I'm trying to be a bit more sensible with my time allocation. At least when I'm looking for a room, I will eventually find a room that I like, and I'll be able to find a decent hunt, hopefully. So, oh really, this person's posting an arena quest. Well, let's see if it's for 4 people. I bet that it won't be. Remember last time? What precisely is wrong with these people? The fact that Yude didn't join tells me that this is limited to 2 people again. Yep. What is going on in this community? Why do you make a room for 4 people and then post an arena quest? And I have every reason to believe that Suineko is not going to be even remotely discouraged by the fact that we can't join. Not even remotely. Suineko's going to be like, well, I want to do this arena quest, so let's go now. And Zero, the quest host, I can only assume doesn't realize that it's limited to 2 people. Because why would he, as the room host, be encouraging basically the destruction of a 4-person hunt by... Now what you've just witnessed ordinarily would be very unusual and particularly dysfunctional. But this has happened twice in a row now. It happened, this exact scenario that you've just witnessed happened in the previous recording. That is what's happening with this community now. It's amazing. It is no longer a novelty to witness that kind of stupidity and rank discourtesy. It's right in your face, and I'll tell you what, most communities are doomed to suffer in this way, but it's really gone downhill here. I do have to tell you though, it was pretty shit in the previous community as well, just in a very different sort of way. It went from being, you know, it's kind of like going from drinking piss to eating shit. They're both terrible, but they are notably different to one another in how they assault your sensibilities. But help me please come. Okay, Horace, let's give you a hand. I have every reason to believe that by the time I join this room, you will have departed with 2 other people, leaving a free slot to be occupied by myself. Oh wow, that didn't actually happen. The first room that I joined today did end up being that scenario that I just mentioned. HR4? Are we really doing this? I don't want to do this. I don't want to do HR4. I have no desire to do that. I'm sorry. As much as I want to get into a room and hunt some monsters, I'm not doing HR4 quests. Sorry. Dude wants to do turns. This is a good start. If Any of you wonder why I don't make my own room? Well, it would be a decent idea. It's just that I don't really want to sit there waiting for people to join it, but I suppose it would be more appropriate than joining these other terrible rooms. Maybe I should take matters into my own hands next time. It's something that I should do before starting the recording. I'm not going to do it now because I'm not going to subject you guys to waiting in an empty room. Oh look, it's me. It's my room, guys. Sure, Rust Razor at this stage. If it's a monster that's G rank, I'll hunt it. Seriously. We've reached that point. I don't know what you're talking about, Beans. But anyway. Perhaps I would have had a slightly better chance of knowing what you were talking about if I had properly comprehended what you had written when you wrote it, rather than reading it several minutes later, but anyway. I know it's tempting to try and conduct a conversation like that. Okay. You forgot to, apparently. Well, it must have been important. What's this room again? Rust Razor Cyanitor? Well, hopefully we've at least got that on the board. I don't want to do Rust Razor Cyanitor. I have to tell you that very clearly. I have no desire to do that. But it's kind of my only option right now. It seems that there's a healthy movement of hunters, but there's, you know, there's healthy circulation, but the heart is rotten and disgusting and, you know, moribund. So, yeah, I don't really get it. Fuck it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make my own room because this is stupid. Because what I'm doing is I'm sitting there waiting to do a quest that I don't even want to do. So, how about we make a turns room? G turns. I have to write G turns, otherwise some dick is going to post a high rank quest. And you know what? Even when I write G turns, they still do that. They still post high rank quests, so at least I can refer those people to the room information. It's not my fault that you didn't read it, now is it? It gives them less of a leg to stand on if they want to argue with you about it. Now we just sit here and relax while we wait for people to come. Who are the deviants that I haven't done in this game? At all? Or do you mean which deviants have I not completed EX for in regards to my own quests? It would be faster to list the ones that I have done, which I will do, but let me just communicate with these people. P2, because I have no need to post my own quests. Being Hunter Rank 999 does have its advantages, especially in a community full of people who are sort of coming into the game much later on in the lifespan of said game, and are still fairly low leveled. The Hunter Rank 999 room is rather attractive to such people. What is with this arse shot that I'm having presented to me? Looks like lingerie. Bloody well is, I think. Anyway, that wasn't so bad after all, was it? I keep forgetting that I'm Hunter Rank 999 in this game, and that actually encourages people to join. I'm not too impressed about this, but I don't care. I would still prefer this quest that's just been posted over Rust Razor Cyanitor, so I've made the right choice in making this room. For sure, and I think I'm going to do this from now on. I think that would be the best way to continue forward. You haven't played with randoms at all in this game? Well, don't do it. In the past it was a terrible idea, and now it's a terrible idea. Do I have a raw charge blade? I think I do. I just don't remember what it is. It's not that one. I know it looks like that might be it, but it's not. That's a joke weapon. Oh yeah, Sarah Sediment. I remember that. I don't know if you can hear that car horn in the background. I apologize for that if you can. Speaking of things in the background, I did actually review the footage of last recording, and I did find that I was getting Discord notifications coming through on the stream. I've got no idea how that was possible because I was not recording system audio. You know, I know my way around OBS. I'm not sitting here going, oh, I'm not recording system audio, and I actually am. I know for a fact that it was not actually recording it, so, well, I guess it technically must have been, but what I mean to say is that it shouldn't have been. So, I don't really know what was going on with that. I don't have to worry about it, because I can mute Discord and not worry about that coming through. Because if it's recording system audio, all I need to do is prevent Discord from making noise, and that's not an issue. But what is an issue is that for some reason system audio is being recorded and I don't understand why. So that is kind of annoying. Well, I'm not talking about now, I've solved the problem. Now. You failed to steal anything from me, you stupid cat. What are we starting with? Possibly Silverwind? I'm assuming he's here. He sure is, and he's glistening rather brilliantly in the sun. He's after all Silverwind. One would think that he'd catch the light rather well. Thought I'd get out of range of that, and I didn't. I did what I could, I suppose. Well, thought I'd be able to get underneath him and avoid that, but can't always have it your way. We're not splitting up into groups, it's simply not happening. I don't care if you are entertaining this idea, but I'm not. I'm going to therefore hunt the other monster. The one that is the objective, the overall objective of this hunt. Of course, we do need to kill Silverwind as well for this quest, but it is a Soulseer G4 hunt. We will do Soulseer first. That is what these people have resolved to do, and obviously KO doesn't want to solo the Silverwind, so he will follow my lead. I don't really care either way. As long as we're not splitting up into groups, because that shit is dumb. I'm not interested in that whatsoever. If I wanted to two-man, I'd be making an arena room or some crap like that. Which would still be better than what those other people were doing, which is making a 4-person room, and then departing with 2 people on an arena quest and essentially wasting everyone else's fucking time. On account of just a complete lack of consideration for the experience of those around them. No sense of community. It's all about them. Which, funnily enough, is in violation of the traditional spirit of Monster Hunter, but we know all about how that has basically crumbled to nothing in recent years, so no real surprise to see it happening in, I guess, the last of the traditional games. And again, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth to refer to this as traditional, but I regret to say that by virtue of comparison, it is the last of the original games, traditional games, whatever you want to call it. I would phrase it as being the last game in the series. That's how I'd fucking phrase it. So, there you go. The game before the reboot. Can you leave me alone, perhaps? Of course, I was stuck in that animation of, don't you fucking dare. I understand that I'm your target right now, but I'm actually starting to get genuinely frustrated, so I would advise you to fucking stop. I do enjoy seeing Soulseer get flinched in midair, it's very satisfying. Stop it. Of course, he didn't fail to hit me because I said stop it, he failed to hit me because, I don't know, he happened to not be in the right place to hit me. And I was likely not his target anyway, so it was quite obvious I was his target there, though. No, I should have healed. I should have withdrawn and then healed. That would have been smarter. But yeah, as for the deviants that I have done, I didn't actually answer that question. I've done Soulseer, I've done Rust Razor, I've done Silverwind, I've done Eldfrost. And that might be it. If there is more, it would be one more. I don't know what that is. It could possibly be Astalos. I might have done EX Astalos. I'm not too sure. I know that I was leveling up my Astalos quest, so I'm either at G5 or EX for that. There is every possibility that I am at EX level for Astalos, but haven't killed my own EX Astalos. The reality is that I'm not in a rush to get that done, so it doesn't bother me that I haven't done that. I really don't give a damn. I'm Hunt Rank 999 and I have the small gold crown. I really don't mind. It's my form of protest because I don't like the Deviant Quest system. I think it was a terribly thought out thing. Almost a sad joke of an implementation. A great concept in relation to the monsters, but just dead on arrival when it comes to the quest system. I wouldn't even call it short-sighted. It's not good even in the short term. Not even as a one-game gimmick. It's fucking bad. It's dumb. It's, you know, please do my urgent, but turned up to the max. It's like, let's take urgent quests and have an entire fucking quest system surrounded, or rather built upon that concept. Like, let's have all quests effectively be urgent quests. Awesome. What a cracking idea, Capcom. Where do you guys come up with this stuff? Must have been the same guy who thought that, can you leave me alone? An Alteroth preventing me from carving. Never thought I'd see the day. Anyway, I'm just going to get off that subject. I've lost so much respect for Capcom now that I just rag on them. Even going back to the games that preceded the reboot. And you know, I don't regret it. I don't have outbursts, I don't have anti-Capcom outbursts and then regret what I've said. I mean, fuck Capcom, seriously. If I sat across from a person who actually had influence within Capcom, and we could have a fully comprehensive English discussion, I would be extremely sharp-tongued with that person. And that is if I could prevent myself turning puce with rage at the mere subject matter being covered. But, yeah. Fucking Capcom. Now, Silverwind is, of all the Deviant monsters, the Deviant that I've hunted the most, so no, I was not especially enthused by the prospect of hunting this thing. Can we not have this happen, please? I can't even see what's going on. Silverwind is in full swing right now, and I am regrettably one of the targets of his onslaught, so I really do need to be careful. Why have I all... Oh, that's right, I created Red Shield with a single file. I don't know how I managed to do that. When I say I don't know how I managed to do that, I don't know how I managed to do something so illogical and unhelpful to myself. Yeah, let's create Red Shield with a single file. It's a great idea, Doomlink. It's fine if you're going for an immediate AED, but I wasn't, so... Go figure, as they say in America. It's a very thoughtful and articulate phrase, isn't it? It's about all you can expect. Stop it. I've healed far too much. I really have. I get it. You're annoying. It's just as well that I've fought so much of you, or so many of you, I suppose, that I've actually allowed myself to desensitize. Let me rephrase that. I have been able to desensitize myself. That saved me from saying myself twice. So I don't actually find myself really bloody angry when I have to deal with your shit. I'd like to do a bit of Energy Blade. Let's whip this out. Yeah. I like that. Basically, the reason why I did that was because I do have Ripper Shield on the go. Are you kidding me? How much damage is that? I suppose it is G-Forward. Stop it. I know precisely what you're doing right now, and I don't know why I am your target. I've consistently been your target, and I'm getting sick of it. It's not fair. That's what I've decided. And you know what? That guy intentionally disconnected. I can smell it. I've just got a... I feel like I've got a nose for this sort of thing. I have a feeling that things weren't going well and he just checked out. We're one feint away from failure. I'm not really going to freak out if we fail. It would be annoying, but... Of course. As soon as he begins that attack, my character stops sprinting. Because of course, if my character were sprinting, I could do the dive. But because my character stopped sprinting, I couldn't do the dive. So it's literally this calculated system where you stop sprinting so that you personally cannot evade the attack. I wouldn't mind that if it made sense. It doesn't make sense. Why would your hunter voluntarily, in the face of danger, start running more slowly? It's fucking stupid. It makes no sense. If you've got the stamina to sprint, you should continue sprinting. Because it makes no sense that the hunter would stop doing that. It was literally implemented to add some degree of difficulty to the combat. Something that wasn't needed. Anyway. I'm sure that we will succeed. I'm not expecting to totally fail. Come to think of it. Yeah, whatever. I wasn't going to be able to iframe that. Are you kidding me? That thing has an effective time of like 10 minutes. Slams the fucking tail down and literally an entire generation of humankind can pass in the time that it takes to fully resolve. It's just ridiculous. I definitely need to sharpen. Let me do that. At great risk to myself, of course, but at least we've got the question mark guy coming in here. My guess is that he didn't actually name himself question mark, question mark, question mark. It's probably a case of him using characters that are not recognized either by the game generally or by my particular version of the game. I have found that with some Chinese characters, like there are Chinese names where all but one character will be recognized. There'll be like some random character that is indeed a question mark. So I would imagine that it's some Chinese person with a name that cannot be read or understood by my version of the game. Anyway, as exciting as that is, I'll now move on to discussions relating to the quest. What my impression is of the quest at this stage is the fact that I'm not enjoying it. Stop. I shouldn't have used Switch Axe against this, Charge Blade. I shouldn't have used Charge Blade against Silverwind. There's a certain incompatibility there. Or at the very least, I'm too lazy to try and create a compatibility. Okay, well, there we go. As long as he wasn't going to create a ranged attack with the first tail swing there, I was going to be able to roll through the second one. That was my chief concern. This sucks. I've got some longsword Larrys on my team and that's about it. Admittedly, I could be doing better, so maybe I should hold my tongue. Why am I going the wrong ass way? On what planet was Silverwind going to be in the direction I was traveling? I don't know, but it certainly wasn't the planet in which Monster Hunter takes place. Look at these people. Fucking Valor Longsword. They're very imaginative, aren't they? I may as well go for the tail. Technically, cutting the tail will be helpful. I'm going to get out of range of that. I would like to wait for an appropriate moment for Ripper Shield. It's very possible that I'll just totally fail to deal the damage of Ripper Shield, but... well, not deal the damage, but reap the benefits of it. There you go, I managed to do it. Surprising myself, and likely my audience as well. Okay, well that was real great, wasn't it? Roll through the first one, and then inevitably get hit by the second one. I need to get the fuck out of here, because we are at risk of failure. I'm about to consume my second max potion without having actually died. What a joke. We'll definitely be capturing the Silverwind. That will be happening. Yeah, well, tough shit question mark guy. I have no trust in whatever you're doing, so I'm shielding. Okay. Well, I'll be able to swiftly recharge Red Shield. Why are you leaving the area so quickly? You haven't been dung-bombed, and to my understanding, you're not hungry, so what are you doing? My guess is wasting our fucking time. New Elden Ring patch is out. Are you joking? Are you telling me I'm going to have to revalidate files again? Just so that you guys know, Elden Ring on PC is a travesty. The only reason why anyone is willing to tolerate it is because we have the likes of Cyberpunk 20, whatever the fuck it is, to compare it to, which was such a material train wreck that Elden Ring not being literally unplayable somehow makes the PC release tolerable. But actually no, the PC release of Elden Ring is fucking shit. Every single update, I, download the update, and it doesn't actually include all the files. There is always one file missing, and it requires me to, after having downloaded said update, validating all the files that I have of Elden Ring, which takes about an hour for the entire process to go from start to finish. About halfway through the process, it realizes that it's missing one file. In case you're wondering what the missing one file results in, it is the crashing of the game at various points. And it's awesome. Also, I'm still waiting for the patches to fix a number of the issues that were present from day one, and indeed some of the issues that were present since the fucking beta test. And that's why I'm bouncing. I'm being a real idiot. Can I get a new team, please? Just charge the damn thing. God. I realise that I'm probably not doing well myself, but it doesn't matter. I've got a tail to carve, apparently. I guess it was cut very close to the end of the confrontation, and that was great. We are how many minutes in, and we've... Or maybe the tail was... Well, whatever, I don't care. We are 34 minutes into this recording, and we've just completed our first hunt. Awesome. There was a bug with Bleed that instant killed all bosses. Great. I'm surprised that wasn't, an intentional balancing update. Let's make Bleed stronger, guys. fucking Elden Ring. What a joke. You know, Elden Ring's good, but it's not so good that I'm going to excuse From Software from coming out with such an abysmal PC version. It's just terrible. Well, I used past tense, it was terrible? No, it is terrible, and I don't think they'll ever fix it fully. They might. But I have a sneaking suspicion that a lot of the issues won't be addressed until like a, you know, 2028 remaster or some shit. Or a 2032 remaster. Anyway. Elden Ring needs a remaster now. That was actually my second Gold Crown Small for Silverwind Nagakuga, which is significant, because I've killed like 110 of them, and I already had a Gold Crown Small, so getting another one that was obviously smaller than the previous one is interesting. Who has posted? It is Player 3. I'm glad it wasn't Player 4. Because if it were Player 4, I probably would have kicked him for being so presumptuous. As to just, you know, post without confirming what we're doing and what order of quests is being, or what order of quest posting is on the agenda. Now, again, what did I say? You include G in the room information and it means nothing. They don't read it or comprehend it. It's simply there so that I can tell them, hey, guess what? The information is there and you chose either not to read it or not to comprehend it. Now, if there is a language barrier issue here, it's not something that would make sense to me, because as far as I'm aware, G, the letter G on its own, capitalized, is universal. Every language version of Monster Hunter will have the letter G to indicate the highest rank. It's a G rank room. See, Eve Z left because of that. It's a G rank room. Now you are welcome to depart the lobby if you don't want. See, this person can understand what I'm saying. This is proof that it's not a language barrier thing. It's not worth giving these people the benefit of the doubt. They just don't read and comprehend what's on the screen in front of them. And why would they, really? Why would they? As for this stout, I'm going to be completely honest, I'm not all that impressed by it. It's okay, but it doesn't really have the bite that I was expecting of a stout like this. You know, it's a 7% alcohol by volume stout. Doesn't have much bite. It's not all that flavoursome. I don't know. Not something to get too excited about, really. I mean, it would kick the fucking shit out of almost any other beer that would be in your average Australian bottle shop, but yeah. I do have different standards for stout, and you know, this is actual stout. We're not talking about Guinness or Guinness Extra Stout or what is it again? It's kind of remember that other one that you'll often find in bottle shops here. But anyway, those stouts are just garbage, absolute garbage. But you know, you set the bar a little higher for something like this. Thank you for the follow, Brown Vina and GG Volta. GG Volta just followed, and I'm thankful for that. We are doing Devil Joe. I will find something interesting Hunting horn. That's interesting enough. Magnestar Eden. Maybe it's Edon. Or Eden. Maybe it's Magnestar Eden. Because Eden would suggest that it's E-D-E-N. Would it not? But at least in my accent, E-D-O-N could also be pronounced in the same way. But for the avoidance of confusion, I will say Eden. And in all candor, it probably is Eden. So, when are we getting Doom alcohol review? Well, never. There's nothing wrong with it being part of the recording process as normal. Yeah, I'm just not... Maybe I'm being unfair. The last beer that I was drinking out of this glass was Echt Schlenkerler. What was the I can't remember what it was called now. It's Echt Schlenkerler. And then there's a third word in German that I've now forgotten. It's been a while. That was a brilliantly smoky, complex, and lovely beer. Echt Schlenkerler Urbock. There were a few. The Urbock was my favorite. But anyway. Just such a magnificently unique beer. And this, by comparison, is just a wet fart of a beer. It's not... I'm not saying it's a bad beer, but by comparison, yeah. But anyway, I'll get off that. I wouldn't mind a bottle of Echt Schlenkerler right now. But it's a seasonal German beer. It's only put out in October. I'd say all the ones from 2021 are gone by this stage, or perhaps not. Stop it. Get away from me, Ibirujo. Now, quest info, not quest info, you dick. We want weapon info. That's how we're playing that song. Yeah, well, that's what I have. Well, I don't think that's how I want to play that. I think that's how we're doing it. Except not, because I didn't intend to play blue twice, for the love of my arse. This is what we want. Please don't come this way, Double Joe, thank you. I'm prioritizing playing the music because I'm being terribly slow, and also demonstrating an acute ineptitude. Well, goodbye, question mark guy. You will not be missed. I don't really have anything against you personally, but I don't know. That little performance you made of posting a fucking high-rank deviant quest in a G-rank room did not leave me with the most positive impressions of you. And none of these are words. Well, you know, fair enough. They are German-inspired words. But it is a German beer, I can assure you. You are apparently German, and I will take you at your word that those are not actual German words, but, you know, that's understandable. You can have fictional words that are contrived by a person who speaks a particular language, and to one who doesn't speak said language, it will sound like, you know, just a normal part of that language. Like, I can come up with fictional English words and names and place names, for instance, and a non-English speaking person would look at that and go, well, that's English, obviously. I don't speak much English, but I understand English well enough to know that that's an English word, but in actual fact, it's not something that you'd find in a dictionary. That is the point. It is technically German, but also technically not, if you understand what I mean. But yeah. Ugh. But anyway, lovely beer. Is it Urbok or Urbok? I can't even remember, but whatever it is, of the different Echtschlenkerle beers, that one was my favorite. Maybe I should, like, actually pay attention to what's going on. Apparently everyone's lost their attack up, so I should play that again. I've not really been paying attention to the hunt at all. I should start doing that. No, I need to play the notes differently to that. Very differently to that. There you go, that's how you play Hunting Horn in 4th gen. Well, specifically, Generations Ultimate, where you can play 2 notes in one swing, effectively. It's a single animation with 2 notes played, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to sacrifice myself to play attack up 20% for the team. Because that is precisely what would have happened. I'm not engaging in some sort of martyrdom. So I'm going to avoid it. Now, Euphony, I generally don't use. You may have noticed, the only way in which you would have noticed this is if you've watched me for an extensive period of time. But I do not use Euphony, ever. The reason why is because it confuses me. I find it harder to see what songs are in effect for the team, because what Euphony does is it plays all songs that can possibly be played, but only for you. And I usually go based on my own active effects to determine what the team is being boosted by when it comes to my Hunting Horn. So, yeah, I actually find Euphony to be a bit of a hindrance when it comes to working with Hunting Horn and navigating the requirements of that support role. There we go. Sonic Smash, on the other hand, I do use liberally, because it's very good. But the level 3 version does require a bit of a charge, because it deals a lot of damage. Oh, it is Urbok. Well, good. I remembered that correctly. And apparently it is a word. Should be aiming for the face here so that I can at the very least contribute to exhaustion and possibly even get a knockout. I'm using Hunting Horns, so my damage output isn't going to be in any way stupendous. Because he's exhausted, I should be able to get fairly consistent hits off on the face, so I do expect something of a knockout. That is assuming that he hasn't been knocked out already. I might not have been paying attention, but I don't think he has been, so I'll keep going for it. It's good to get the impact damage on the head too. Can't complain too much about that. I do have Sonic Smash at the ready, but I'm not going to squander it. I'll wait until I have a guaranteed chance of hitting the monster. It doesn't even have to be a weak point. As long as I'm hitting the monster with the attack, I am content. I can't believe I'm missing this fucking head. You know, when I first fought Devil Joe, well, not when I literally first fought him, my first hunt with the Devil Joe was with a Lagia Cruz Lance back in Monster Hunter Tri, which was a good weapon choice for one's first Devil Joe hunt. But fairly early on, I gave Hammer a try with Devil Joe, and it was such an unsuccessful endeavor that I was totally averse to the idea of using Hammer against a Devil Joe for years to come. And I recently tried it again, and it's okay. Like, it's not great, but it's fine. It's certainly viable. It's not like you simply should never use Hammer on a Devil Joe. Oh, well, there you go. Well, that was nice, I guess. I wish that I could have done more with my Sonic Smash, but I guess he was sort of dying while I was performing it, so could be worse. Well, I don't require that you have an esoteric understanding of beer when watching my live streams, so you are forgiven if you are not learned in the ways of alcoholic beverages. I might need to move on to some sparkling wine after this. Sparkling wine? I don't have sparkling wine. I have white wine. Don't know why I said sparkling wine. Now, incidentally, white wine doesn't go well with stout, just letting you know. But that's all I've got outside of this, so... Sometimes you just have to live with what you got. Can't always be particular. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get this stout again. It did not impress me at all. Not at all. It seems to be fairly well appreciated. And I would concur that it's not a bad stout. Maybe my bar has just been set way too high. Or maybe I've developed too much of a taste for Imperial Stout. And Imperial Stout is like getting punched in the fucking throat. It's just... It's amazing. It's like... Oh... Couldn't have a more exciting beer, honestly, than an Imperial Stout. And a real heavy one, too. One that's just gonna... put you in a state of... sedentary lethargy. Because that's exactly what a good Imperial Stout will do to you. Alright, so player 4. It is KO's time to post, finally. His time has arrived. Go for it, KO. Don't let Tiny get there before you. I was going to say that it was the Atul Car team. But no, we do have someone running Solseer apparently. Or presumably. What's the... Oh, I see. Solseer is the armor, but the Rajang set is the Transmog. Paralyzing Peril. Okay. I will go dual blades for this. I prefer spirits to anything else, but I don't know. I just don't have spirits on hand at the moment. I did have a few bottles of gin recently on hand, but I go through them like water, so they're not always around unless I'm regularly topping them up. And by that I mean buying new ones. No, I will go dual blades. I almost for a moment considered getting a greatsword on the go, but no. I have resolved to do dual blades, and furthermore, I find that I do greatsword against Lagio crews too often, so I'd rather not. KO left. Well, I'm really sorry to see that. I have a distinct feeling that he disconnected, which is a terrible time for him to disconnect because he's finally got that opportunity. Did you see that little glitch there where it didn't actually show the red marker above the chest to say that I could interact with it? New glitches in Monster Hunter. P1 LOL. No. P2, because I'm not posting. That's a shame though. I feel bad for him. I hope he can get back in and then we can do his quest soon. But this has thrown a spanner in the works. I now need to check to see what I will actually be preparing for. It's probably not going to be Lagio crews. Ragia Kurs. What's going on, Kami? It'd be great if you could tell us what we're doing. It seems that you are taking your leisurely time to get ready without us being able to do the same. But I guess we are still waiting for a fourth person, so whatever. Deadeye G3. You people are so weak in the knees for deviant hunts. It's deviant this, deviant that. Next time I make a fucking room, I'm going to say no deviants. G turns no deviant. That's what it's going to be called. And it's going to be my little paradise of a fucking room. Because I'm getting sick of doing deviants. Presumably water is still best for Deadeye Yian Garuga, but I will confirm that. What have we got? That's probably the sound of someone joining. Oh, come on. I don't have the Deadeye armor set. I'll just assume that water is still good. Heart K. Heart. You have left, hopefully on account of your own embarrassment for having such a... well, cheesy name, I guess? Because you've already written heart and then you've gone and added a heart symbol on top of that. That's just... you know... going too far. What would I like to use? Nothing that deals shot damage, that's for damn sure. Okay, I'll go dual blades. I might even use precisely what I'm... No, that's boring. That's very boring. I'll use blunt dual blades and I'll use blunt water. Because for those who are unaware of this fact, with the non-existence of Awaken in this game, I use blunt weapons as my new Awaken weapons. In other words, blunt weapons are my alternative to the norm. When I would typically choose water dual blades, it would indeed be the Plesioth dual blades, but in this case, I can choose an alternative, which is blunt water dual blades. Specifically the... well, I think they're Celtis, aren't they? Celtis dual blades. I do believe so. Spirit Twists. Remember when you used to have a fucking description? I mean, you still do, but they just don't include it for the max upgrade for the weapons anymore. It almost breaks my heart. Deadeye G3. It's a one feint, isn't it? Well, don't faint, guys. Do your best. I'm not really excited for this. I don't fight Deadeye very often, but I can only imagine that he is an irritant at best and a complete mistake of a monster at worst. Getting ready to... ugh. Had to be careful with my timing there because I needed to be able to dodge the damn tail. I don't need to be hit by that tail because I think it would give me double poison and then I'd be out of commission for a good 10 seconds. While I get out of the damn way and then heal my poison. And then possibly heal myself on top of that. God, look at this fight. I'm already unimpressed. Interesting design though. Again, I enjoy the monsters of the Deviant quest system, just not so much the quest system, so I'm not going to sit here and say that this is a bad monster. But I will happily admit to you all, without equivocation, that I fucking hate Yian Garuga. I do not like this monster. So fighting a version of him that has been designed to give yet a greater challenge to the hunter is obviously not going to be a pleasurable experience for either myself or for you when I'm sitting here screaming at the damn monster for being so frustrating. I'm glad that I do have a blunt setup here though, because it means I have Mind's Eye. I would never spend $200 on a bottle of scotch. I just wouldn't do it. Because I can't savor it. I would certainly do it if someone were to... well, what I would say is that if someone got it for me as a gift, my god, I'd be terribly appreciative of that, because it would be a lovely thing to drink. It's just that... for me, I'm looking for value for money. So, yeah, I mean, it would be a lovely beverage, but... Well, thank you for not hitting me with your tail, honestly. Look at that double poison. It literally has a double poison cloud that's produced. What a scary monster. This thing is Elder Dragon level, guys. Deadeye Yangaruga. Frightening shit. Alright, I'll attack the back spikes. Not that happy about it, though. Can barely see what I'm doing. But I'm apparently doing something. Again, I'm very happy with my choice of weapons and playstyle. It's very appropriate for a well-armored monster such as Yangaruga. Yeah, alright. Returning to your first-gen ways, I see, Garuga. I'm just gonna swing my tail around. It's gonna mess them up because they just assume that I'm gonna give them an opportunity to come in close, but no, I'm still swinging. So they're gonna get hit. Fucking stupid monster. Please be on target. I was partially on target. That's interesting to see him adjust himself twice. Look at that. Look at the curvature to his running animation. The angle of that is just unfair. It's worse than a Jade Baroth. Maybe not worse than a Jade Baroth, but it was like that. The thing with Jade Baroth is that he does have a crazy angle of attack when he does his charge, but it's indiscriminate. He does it randomly. He's not trying to attack an individual. He just has a really sharp curve to his charge, which can mess you up, but it's predictable. In the case of Yangaruga here, in Deadeye form, he has a really crazy angle to his charge if it involves aiming for you specifically. He will do whatever is needed, as unfair as it might be, to hit you in that moment. And that's a whole lot worse than Jade Baroth. Because that's just, you know, the design of his attack. Yeah, Kirin is also terrible. Fuck that monster. Awful thing. I've always disliked Kirin. He was obviously a whole lot worse in first gen, but he never got better. I think they did a good job with Kirin in Monster Hunter World. Oh, fuck off. There's two of them? Oh my god. I thought it was just one of them and then we had a one faint quest scenario, but no. Okay, well there's another one on the horizon. I can't fucking wait. Bloody deviant quests. I do feel bad for that guy who stuck around for 2 quests and then disconnected when he was going to post his. Sort of tugs at the heartstrings, you know. You get the lump in the back of your throat, you sort of... Thanks for the ping, man. I don't think anyone was confused as to where to go, but... I'm always happy that we've got you leading the way. God, as you are called. Anyway. I feel like I was very lucky to not be caught in that. I can't believe we're now starting with a full health fucking Deadeye after all that. I realise that he'll have reduced health because he's one of 2 monsters, but as far as this one's concerned, he hasn't lost health. So, based on how long it took to kill the first one, I'm not impressed to see that we've only just begun with a new fucking health bar here. I'm not sure how the trapping works with Deadeye here. Traditional Yiangaruka was resistant to traps when enraged. I don't know if there's any sort of dynamic along those lines with Deadeye. Stop it. No. As long as I don't get caught in that, I'm fine. I will use Wolf's Maw, that would be appropriate. I don't really want to get caught in anything that will harm me terribly. Goodbye, Tiny. You did well to survive up until now. I obviously had Wolf's Maw charged for quite some time, but I was not looking at my Hunter Arts at all. Which is obviously rather negligent of me, but... my excuse is that I play games that don't have Hunter Arts as an option, so... sometimes it doesn't actually come to mind that I have that there to use. If I happen to visually notice it, yes, I'll make use of it, but instinctively, no. It's not really there. Can we please not fail this fucking quest? I will be so angry if we fail. There is nothing more annoying than spending all this time dealing with monsters like these, and then not getting anything out of it whatsoever. I technically carved the first one, but I'm not here for the carves, I'm here for the completed quest and the weapon use on my guild card and the whatever else. That is indicative of progress, of having done something. You know, getting some random carves means nothing to me. We've got it trapped down, which is great. It's just we need to take advantage of this opportunity while it's here. Hello. Get in this shock trap. I was trying to line up with it and that just didn't happen. Would have of course been a whole lot better to make use of this with the fourth hunter here as well, but he's taking a goddamn long time to get here. He's taking the scenic route, which is helpful to precisely no one. So... it's best that we just do something with that trap while it was there, and while the monster was here, more specifically. There is every possibility that the monster will leave the area, so... best to use it while we can. No, you're exhausted, are you? I think you are. I think I'm seeing that right. No, I must have been seeing that wrong. I am hallucinating at this stage. It is a measure of my fatigue. What? Thanks, A-Gaming. I probably could have lived without ever knowing that. But, yeah. Nice fun fact. Do you mean the name or the location? Or both? Seems like a pretty unimaginative point of inspiration, but who am I to say that, no, I'm not even going to go there. There is also the possibility of failure lingering in the background. Hopefully that eventuality will not come to pass. You have a creepy sound when you're on the ground. I'm trying to get out of there. I know what you're doing, and I don't want to partake in any of it. I just want to be safe. I don't think this is a good place to be fighting this monster when we are one feint away from failure. Maneuverability is not really the easiest thing to achieve in this place. Oh my fucking god, Yang. Let's get with the program, okay? You need to be ready to dive. And that is not what you were doing at that time. Okay, we succeeded. Thank God for that. Where's the tail? Probably right here, isn't it? Yeah. I do see it. Well, thankfully that wasn't a complete waste of our time. Reassuring, to say the least. We're only an hour and 11 minutes in, jeez. I'm definitely going to need to get my white wine out. I'm already done with this stout, even though I was pacing myself. Well, as unfortunate as it may be, I did only have one. Quest complete. I don't care if the latest Elden Ring update's only 100 megabytes, it's still gonna fuck with my game. Guaranteed. Stupid crap. I just want to play the game, that's all I want. I want to play the game without crashing all the damn time. Now, admittedly, it doesn't happen literally ad hominem, but it happens frequently enough to negatively impact my enjoyment. And I'll tell you what negatively impacts your enjoyment. When you want to play the damn game, and then you get into the situation where loading your quest file will load into a scenario that causes a crash, and then your only recourse at that stage is to validate your files, which will take in excess of an hour, which means that your desire to play that game in that moment will have to take a back seat while you wait for the game to sort its shit out, because it's broken. So... yeah, great. Player 3, I guess, yeah. Player 3. Stop! Press the right buttons, if you would. P3. Tiny knows what needs to be done. But for the benefit of everyone, I'm making it as clear as possible. It is Australian brewed wine. Honestly, wine is not something that you will often find imported in this country. We have a pretty robust wine manufacturing business here. Sweets for my sweets. A Hyper Malfestio is an interesting quest to post on the board, and I thank this person for not posting a Cantor, Devil Joe, Glavenus, Rust Razor, Cyanator, you know, all of the fucking typical monsters that one would see. It's nice to have something a little different. Now, as for an appropriate weapon to choose, I don't recall the ideal element choice, so I will... well, no, I can check. I believe it's ice, but we'll find out. Malfestio. Did I just hear the sound of a quest being posted again? Please don't tell me that you changed it. I'm just going to cross my fingers and pray that you didn't change quests. Alright, where the fuck is Malfestio? It is water and fire. Whichever one I would like to go with. I think I'll go with water. Might be a little more fun. Where's my water lance? It is... no, it's not Shark Assault. It is... Dragon's Howl. I could also use the Misophobic Scream, which is of course the Plunger. It used to be called the Vacuum something or other. Thank you for not having actually changed quests, because if you had done so, I would have found myself utterly incensed. And possibly on the edge of screaming. Or something like that. Alright, so I'm going to ready up. When we get into the quest, I will ensure that I'm not in the area with the monster, and then I'll go and get some wine. I just don't want to keep them waiting. I'd rather be away from the game for the first 60 seconds of the hunt, and allow them to do whatever they're going to do. It's a little better, I would say. You can enjoy the very picturesque landscape and the Laranoff doing their thing. I'll be back momentarily. What's going on? You're all being treated to some sort of... 1 Doomlink, 3 Laranoff erotic video. Ugh. Yeah, Doomlink likes that. He sure fucking does. What's going on? Why am I such a point of interest for you dinosaur creatures? I don't really understand. Hey Hossein, how are you? Good to see you. Let's head over to Area 4 and actually contribute to the hunt. It sounds like a plan to me. Yeah, I don't think I'll actually get that stout again. Because you have to understand that cost needs to match enjoyment, and I spent $10 on that can. That was $10 for a can of that stout, and you know, the enjoyment was not $10 worth of enjoyment. Sorry. I'm glad I didn't spend $35 on 4 cans, because that's how much 4 cans were, so fuck me, right? I'm sure you can get them much cheaper at, you know, a liquor superstore, but that was at my local bottle shop attached to a pub, so yeah. I suppose you wouldn't be getting the best prices in the world, but still. Not an appropriate price if I'm not utterly enamored with the beer in question. Oh, shut up, bloody bird. I could have actually gone for shield assault there, but I'm sure I will find a better occasion to use it. What's that greatsword? I've definitely seen that before, but not for a long time. I would assume that it is the Drill Tusk Greatsword, because it reminds me of the Tetsukabra knife, but the coloration is different. Am I seriously not? I'm still bloody confused. Is it the Drill Tusk thing? Oh, I tried to dive, but I couldn't do it. Can I interrupt it with a... No, I can't interrupt it with a hunter arm, that's for damn sure. I'm trying to deal with backwards controls right now, obviously. I'm very much enjoying the greatsword design, though, of Kami. I'm just going to assume that it is the Drill Tusk Greatsword. I've never seen it before, but I can't imagine what else it would be. Yeah, I haven't been streaming as much lately, Hossein, but I will try to pick up the pace on that. Raise the frequency of recordings. Can we not interrupt the Doomlink sharpening event? Oh, I thought that might have actually been a flinch. The timing of the movement of the Malfestio there, in relation to him being hit in the face with a sword, made it look like he was about to fall out of the sky, but he did not. He simply attacked me, which was not really what I wanted in that moment. He's already dead. Is that seriously a G-rank Hyper Malfestio? It is. Jeez. Oh, that's true. I wasn't actually there from the beginning. That's why it felt like it was so fast. I was leeching for the first 120 seconds. You've been playing Double Cross? Well, there you go. And Kami confirms in the chat that it is Drill Tusk. You know what, Kami? I didn't actually realise that you in-game were the person in chat. Why? I don't know, but now I've realised it, and yeah. Slow as I might be, at least I worked it out eventually. Yeah, I think it's a cool greatsword. It's definitely cooler looking than the regular Tetsukabra greatsword, but to be completely honest, I think it's a cool greatsword anyway. It's not like a really ugly looking thing. Okay. Yes, well, you didn't exactly herald your arrival with a fanfare of trumpets. You sort of just sat in my room and in my chat and existed, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. Now, that would be player 4, and hopefully we can, after player 4, continue in what should be a well-established order without me needing to announce it. If you're wondering why I suddenly bared my teeth for the camera, it was actually me ripping the skin off my lower lip. Just to give you a real intimate insight into what I was doing in that moment. You know, someone might have been like, wow, what was that, Doomlink? Your inner animal came out all of a sudden, like baring your teeth for the camera. Well, you know, it was for a reason. I don't know what Yang's going to post, but I hope it will be something worthwhile. That's all I can hope. Go for it, Yang. Do you know what P4 means? I hope you do. The likelihood of him not knowing is palpable. Yang Post. Well, Kami beat me to it. If he still doesn't fucking get it, then there's not much more that we can do for him. The mere mentioning of his name should really do it for him. And look... Oh, actually, that would be helpful, possibly. Tiny is communicating in a language that Yang can understand, which might possibly be some form of translation. But it doesn't seem to be hitting home. Oh no, it has. It just was a little delayed. What can I say? Not everyone is running at the same speed. If you've posted Adol Car, I will dump ass in my chair right now. You motherfucker. You have deigned to post not just Adol Car, but fucking event Adol Car. But perhaps I shouldn't assume that this is beneath your dignity. It may very well, in fact. But, oh, never mind. I thought he removed the quest for a moment. I was thinking, geez, maybe he's listening. But I will go Greatsword. I can live with event Adol Car. I'm just not happy about it. Okay. Do I have a blunt Thunder Greatsword? I don't think I do. Thunder, for some reason, is very unrepresented in the blunt world. They're, you know, essentially oppressed. Second-class citizens. No, it's not actually true. They don't exist at all. I do have 2 Thunder Greatswords. One is designed to be used with critical draw. Excuse me. That's technically true. My critical draw set does not have sharpness +1. And then my other set, which does have sharpness +1, doesn't have critical draw. So I have 1 greatsword for both. Well, 1 greatsword for different setups. So that's my critical draw one. That's my... What precisely am I talking about? I actually mean critical boost, not critical draw. Look, it's been a while, okay? Shut up. I'll bring this set, and I'll use Lagia Supreme Thunder, which is very much a throwback to Monster Hunter Tri. And I'm glad that, you know, the fully upgraded weapon design here that I'm using is a perfectly viable end-game Thunder Greatsword. Because again, it's a throwback to Monster Hunter Tri. And I enjoy that. Fucking event Adol Car, I can't believe it. For it to be described as the gloom of 101,000 nights is so apt. Because I am feeling gloom that in most circumstances would need to accumulate over the course of 1,001 nights. I'm mostly concerned about the final phase and the amount of damage he's going to be dealing during that final phase. We will succeed, I have every expectation that we will, but I just don't want to deal with it. But of course, most of my frustration and concern is on account of the fact that I'm fighting this monster again. I don't really mind the difficulty factor, I can live with that, but god damn it. I'm not in the mood for Adol Car. Okay. Not an unreasonable amount of damage, although that fucking hurts. Don't you combo me. I don't know what your range is, because I don't know what attack you're coming out with next, but I needed to dive to ensure that I was not going to become victim number 1. That would be awfully embarrassing. We can see that Yang has taken a heavy hit. A life powder only took him to half health. Yang is dead. This was your quest, asshole. If you can't hack it, then depart from the goddamn room. Why are we doing this? Well, I thought that my roll was going to be well timed enough to get through that, but I think I was just shy of the mark. I'll try and get in position for the head, and I'm also going to fail in doing that. I might have been able to get it there, but wishful thinking can really take over from reality at times. So I'm going to make the rather neutral remark that it could have hit and it might not have also. Either way, I'm content with the outcome. I'll do a bit of Moonbreaker, huh? There you go. Get a bit of damage out. Can I hit you while you're doing that? I sure can. Fucking hell. Why not? I don't think I've actually sought to do that before. I don't think it's a bad idea at all. Get that shit out of my way. Bloody golden web. Forgot about the follow-up hit there. I haven't done Adalkar in so long. Is it safe to go for the climb? I think it is, yeah. Let's do it. Or not. Fine. Is that access to the no, that's not access to the face. What are you doing? Why are you moving around so much? Is this exclusive to the event? I don't think I've even seen him perform that attack before. What is going on? What I'm witnessing right now is completely novel. His head is moving like it's the brain or something. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Is that unique to the event or what? It must be. I've never seen that before. Him moving his head like that. Unless I'm being thoroughly retarded and he's always done this and I've only just now noticed, but seriously, watching him move his head like that and attacking with it? I haven't seen that prior to this point. What the hell? Alright. Let's climb this damn thing. Try to make some progress. Can't see anything. This is great, yeah. I love this camera angle. It's just... okay, whatever. And now for this one. Well, thank you, Lulu Carlos. I appreciate that. Alright, teammates, hit me. Hit me. I'm about to brimstone slash. Give it to me. Yeah. That's what we want. Full damage on this weak point. That's lovely. No. No. Tiny has fainted. We are one faint away from failure, and we are only at the first phase of the mechanical Adalkar. This does not bode well. In case you needed me to make that clear, this is not okay. Alright, so we've finished phase 1 of mechanical Adalkar. Giant robot Adalkar, whatever you want to call it. Kami has no doubt disconnected. I don't know much about Kami, but he does not strike me as one who's gonna fucking rage quit like that. So he's disconnected and he's basically left us in the worst possible situation. And that is 3-manning event Adalkar with 1 faint left before total and utter failure. Yeah, well, I assume that you disconnected. This is terrible. I don't know why I'm actually sticking this out, but Let's do it. Let's just fucking do it. Well, goodbye, Yang. Seriously. I'm glad that it happened now and not right before we succeeded in killing the monster, because there is nothing worse than a foregone conclusion being dragged out to the maximum degree. We don't want that. We don't want that. Well, I'm going to let Yang deal with that situation in whatever way he deems appropriate. I'm guessing that he will leave, and if he so chooses to leave, then it won't exactly be a travesty. It's not going to be, you know, the great tragedy of my monster hunting career if Yang, the Atulkar hunter, leaves the room. In fact, it would delight me if he were to do that. Well, I don't really care. I'm not going to sit here and criticize Yang all day, but seriously. The most scathing criticism that I can launch in the direction of Yang would have to be that he was stupid enough to post the quest in the first place. I'm hoping that Kami can get back in. I will wait for him. Tiny and Yang can do what they will. Tiny, no doubt, is filled with a sense of entitlement. He is entitled to post the next quest because he's next in line. Little does he realize... Oh well, goodbye, Tiny. Tiny has left the building, and Yang will no doubt follow in his wake. Kami has returned, and Kami indeed will be the one posting the next quest. Yang has held out in a way that I never thought possible. Or to a degree that I never thought possible. Why you would name your hunter Mudkip really boggles the mind, but that's alright. Better not to question it. His loadout is really about what I'd expect. Yeah, go for it, man. When I said Glavenus, what I really meant was Hellblade, actually. I can sort of live with Glavenus, but I'm sick of people posting Hellblade. But I would actually prefer Hyperceregios, because I don't do that very often. Glavenus and Hyperglavenus I do fight very often, whereas Hyperceregios I don't fight very much at all, so I would definitely prefer that you post that. Wait, no, not that. I want Gunlance. I read Bluntlance's as Gunlance for some reason, so... Shows how fucking mental I am. I will probably be able to do 2 more hunts. Mudkip got a little excited and thought that it was his opportunity to post, because no one else was posting. I regret to say, Mudkip, that you were getting ahead of yourself. Why would you name yourself Mudkip? It's like naming yourself Squirtle. Like, why? What are you doing? Like, you know, fucking Charmander, etc., you know, like the really low-level Pokemon. Like, why? Speaking of Pokemon, I pissed off a Pokemon viewer of mine. I think it was Potato. I pissed him right off because I actually had one of the rarest Pokemon. of the series, which was Darkrai and Pokemon Pearl, and I traded it. He got real fucking pissed off. Apparently, getting Darkrai and Pokemon Pearl was specific to an event that ran for a limited period of time. As far as when that event ran, it must have been a number of years into the lifespan of Pokemon Pearl. I'm thinking 2008, 2009, assuming Pokemon Pearl came out in around 2006, which I believe was the case. 2005, 2006, something along those lines. And, you know, I was there for that event and I got Darkrai. Like, I didn't even realize that it was going to be this exclusive thing, and I had Darkrai, and I don't like that Pokemon very much. He didn't interest me at the time, and he certainly doesn't interest me now. And I fucking traded him for a level 100 Rayquaza. And I don't regret that at all. But Potato fucking dumped ass and was like, oh, I can't believe that you traded fucking... Or maybe it was a Ho-Oh. I don't know if it was Rayquaza or Ho-Oh. It was one of those. No, it was actually even worse. It was Giratina, I think, that I traded it for. That's what I said at the time. Whether or not that's what it was, I think it might have been Giratina. I don't remember. The point is that even Giratina, for me, would be a more attractive Pokemon than fucking Darkrai. So I just don't care about Darkrai, sorry. I don't care how fucking rare it is. I didn't want it. So, there you go. Is the Seregios light bow gun still good in Double Cross? I would imagine so. I think one of the main reasons why it's not being used is because it's not part of the fashion to do so. I think it's just as effective as it was in 4 Ultimate. It's just that people don't know about it because it hasn't been picked up by some... Oh, sorry, Kami, I really should be supporting you here. The life powder came, but far too late. And I apologise for that. But yeah, you have to understand that there are trends and fashions that exist in Monster Hunter. It's not so much about what's effective, it's about what everyone else is using, and then everyone just goes along with that. In 4 Ultimate, because Seregios was a very... Well, how do I say... it was a novel idea that you could roll with a bowgun and reload it. It was a novel idea that you could roll with a Blade Master weapon and sharpen it automatically, albeit slightly. And they were pretty good as raw weapons, not the best, but they were pretty good. So everyone used them, they were just fun to use, easy to use, and so it caught on like a disease, and everyone was using it. You know, that was just the fashionable choice in 4 Ultimate. So Regius weapons haven't become less viable. It's just the community doesn't latch onto them in the way that they did back then. And the same, in my opinion, would be the case for the light bowgun. As far as it being a good choice for slicing, I'm not too sure. Of course, back in 4 Ultimate, it shot slicing rapid fire very well. But it has now been changed to internal ammunition only. I can only assume that it shoots both slicing level 2 and level 1. But naturally at a limited capacity, because that is the nature of internal ammunition. And also the nature of the balancing of slicing that took place, which I felt that needed to take place. I think making slicing internal ammo only was a very sensible decision. But the problem is that you can't make balancing decisions like that whilst simultaneously destroying the balance by having Valor Bowgun. Specifically Valor Heavy Bowgun. You're going to sit here and pretend that you're balancing the fucking game whilst having Valor Heavy Bowgun? Get a grip, Capcom, seriously. That's what I take issue with. It's the idea that Capcom's going to take the time to balance certain things whilst completely throwing the balance out the window with other things. It's like a bad joke. Yeah, I also did the same, Hossein. In fact, my rapid-fire slicing set did have normal up, because it was also used as a normal set. The Sergio's light bow gun was very good for normal as well. And I regret that I refer to 4 Ultimate in past tense like that, but I just don't play it very much anymore. I think I will put some effort into continuing 4 Ultimate, but it will actually continue as a random hunts game. So I do have a series that preceded this series by, I suppose it was almost 4 years. I suppose we'll say 3.5 years. Random hunts preceded the series that I'm recording now. Doomlink's Random Hunts was started in around September of 2015. That was the first Monster Hunter series that I recorded on this channel. And, you know, it was a bit of a traditional style. It would usually include 2 hunts, sometimes 1 hunt. And yeah, the reason why I want to do that for 4 Ultimate, or in other words, do 4 Ultimate in that series, is because I don't have to worry about things going wrong live. And also don't have to worry about OBS fucking up the performance of Citra. So, yeah, I've done that in the past, so I think I will do that now. The only thing that stops me from pursuing that is that I realize I'm only accessing a portion of my community. A number of people who watch me exclusively on Twitch, but it has to be said that a good number of people who only watch me on YouTube as well, so it feels wrong to exclude the Twitch viewers, but it is at the end of the day their choice if they don't want to check YouTube to see what might be uploaded there. So I don't really know what to say other than that. I think I will do some 4 Ultimate for the Random Hunt series, and I think it would be good. I don't want to abandon 4 Ultimate, I have no desire to do that. There is a lot of enjoyment to be had in 4 Ultimate. I just wish that the emulating experience could be more seamless and free of frustration. Ow. Fuck off. Yeah, more recently I did do random hunts in Portable Third. As for why I was doing it in Portable as for why I had that in random hunts. That's why I was doing that, it was because my previous PC setup was rather awkward, so I didn't want to do live streams of Freedom Unite and Portable Third, so I was doing them in random hunts instead. That's why I was doing that. Makes sense. I don't know if I've been gun lancing very well. I've been doing it entirely subconsciously. I've probably been performing poorly, but whatever. I'm trying to reload my damn gun lance. I'm trying to shoot. Oh god, I didn't have the stamina for it, did I? Of course I didn't. Otherwise I wouldn't have stood there and taken it like a fool. Whatever. Apparently I didn't get the bleed effect from that. Maybe it's because I was already immunized. I'm sorry, Kami. You have to understand that I cannot resist the temptation to do a heavy shot when I'm presented with the opportunity, even if it comes at the expense of throwing you away from the monster mid-greatsword charge, and I do realize that as far as working as a team, that is one of the most destructive things one could do. Blasting away the greatsword guy. But, you know. Maybe I was doing more damage. We can never know. We can never know. Fuck! I'm not going for the shot because I would have missed anyway. I'd love to do Dragon Blast, but there's no point doing it if I can't get the damage out. And this Regios will not stand still, so... There's actually two of us running Blast. Kami and I are both using Brachydios weapons. He should die in this next area. That is what I expect. I've said this before, but the way in which the Khonshu wiggle when they spot you, it almost feels like they're waving at you. It's like this cute little wave. It's this acknowledgement that they've seen you. See that? I've always interpreted it as like a little wave. I almost feel bad attacking them, but whatever. I still associate Khonshu very much with 4 Ultimate, not at all with this game. Get off. Fucking hell. I enjoy Khonshu. I think they were a great addition to Monster Hunter. And I do enjoy the way in which they interact with the Kutku and Garuga monsters. Maybe it's just Kutku and Blue Kutku. Maybe they didn't interact with Garuga all that much. I don't remember now, but... yeah, it must have been just Kutku. Alright. Some may wonder what the point of playing even is when you've reached max hunter rank. Well, there are ways to display one's progress through the game beyond hunter rank, and it does have to do with the guild card. It's disappointing that reaching hunter rank 999 is so easy in this particular game, but it is what it is. Player 3. This will probably be the last hunt. Depending on how I feel about Yang, I might do 2 more hunts so that we can include his final turn. It really depends. I find that I'm still bitter that Yang chose to do Event Atlkar. Of all the quests, really. Yang is such a Monster Hunter Online player. The outfit that he's wearing right now is exactly what everyone in the Monster Hunter Online community used to wear. There was no armor in that game, it was all... You know how people complain about bikini armor? Well, in Monster Hunter Online, it wasn't bikini armor, it was literally bikinis. That was Monster Hunter Online. It was a bunch of horny Chinese teenagers staring at their thin, toned female characters and, you know, probably occasionally choking the chicken. That was basically the vibe I was getting from that community. And it was kind of gross. I have never actually been prompted to remake a character from a female into a male based on the game that I've played. But that's what happened with Monster Hunter Online. I had initially made a female character, but I wanted to play with certain people, and of course, if you want to play with people in a guild, you have to be in the same server as them, and I'd made a character in a different server to them. That happened to be a female character. And when I had to remake a character to play with them, I made a male. And the reason why was because of the fucking community. And also the nature of the game, it was just so sexualized and it was ridiculous. Well, hopefully he won't post Rust Razor EX. I will have this be my last hunt. I'm not going to be charitable to Yang. I'm not in the mood. I'm quite happy for this to be my last hunt. Let's do longsword, shall we? That's a good way to finish up. God damn it, what's the hunt again? It's Rust Razor and some other fucking monster. What is it? God. Bloody hell. Malfestio. Okay. What would be appropriate? I guess raw? Let's go blunt longsword, which would be the Acantor longsword. Very well. That I can live with. I haven't used this loadout for a while, but it's perfectly viable. And very heavy in the damage dealing department. Go Weakener and Bombardier. This quest is for experienced special permit holders only. We've got sightings of a Rust Razor Seanator, a Hyper Malfestio at the pinnacle, whatever it is. Well. Thanks, Yang. Paintball it. Actually, no, I think we want to start with Malfestio. We need to start with Malfestio because if we don't, Malfestio will move into this area. Whoops. But yeah, we don't want to deal with both of them. Let's do Malfestio first. That's very important. Because I don't think Seanator rotates into this area. Whereas in the case of Malfestio, he will rotate into where we're fighting Rust Razor. I've done this quest a number of times. I don't know why, but I ended up doing it a lot. What for? I just don't remember, but yeah, it's a quest that I've done many times. Fuck off. See the width of that attack? As far as I'm concerned, I was out of range of that, but because his wing is so wide, it still managed to hit me. Oh dear. Well, I'm confused now. I can't get to the next level. Don't have the charge. There we go, there's the white. I will not use Unhinged Spirit until I reach yellow. It simply will not happen. There we go. Combo into Unhinged Spirit. And then into the red. Yes. Managed to clip him with that. Very good. I want to make... well, I want to take full advantage of Unhinged Spirit while I've got it, but... if it's dangerous to use it, then that is what it is. Oh dear. Look who's limping. I'm not happy that we have to chase you, but maybe it would be a little bit too unrealistic to expect a one zone of a Hyper Malfestio. Where am I going for this? I need to get my head in gear. Okay, I know where that is, but I'm not too sure what the fastest route would be. I think it would be this way. Let's go this way. I think I'm introducing some confusion, given that I'm the Hunter Rank 999 person, but I'm going back and forth a little bit. Kami, on the other hand, is straight there. Well, Monster Hunter Online is definitely not that comparable to Frontier. Frontier is definitely a second generation game, which by 2013 had become this... Excuse me, by 2011 had become this ultra anime joke of a Monster Hunter game. And it still sort of retained the skeleton of a second gen game. Whereas Monster Hunter Online had the skeleton of a third-gen game with incredible visuals, at least in regards to the locations. But I would go so far as to say that the monsters were really nicely designed as well. Visually, at least. In my opinion, Monster Hunter Online actually looked better than World. I really do genuinely believe that. And I would say that that's due to a stylistic difference. That's not to say that it's an objectively better looking game, but I do think the style of Monster Hunter Online was better, while simultaneously being much better graphically than the mainline games. So, yeah. That was Monster Hunter Online. The problem with Monster Hunter Online was that I just couldn't get into it at the time. I just got through early G rank by the time the game had shut down. I just wasn't playing it regularly at all. I had made a single video I'd made 2 videos in Monster Hunter Online. My first video in Monster Hunter Online was me just laughing about this ridiculous situation. One of my first experiences with Monster Hunter Online, and you have to understand that one of the major issues with that game was that the entirety of the budget went into the visuals. There are a lot of very rough aspects to that game. It was a free-to-play game, and while it looked amazing, the way in which it functioned was fundamentally fucked. It was messy, it was broken, and calling it janky would be an understatement. The building blocks that essentially perpetuated its very existence were not even capable of propping up the damn game as far as I'm concerned. It barely worked. And an example of this was one of my first times coming into the game. In fact, it was the first time I'd come into the game, and I recorded a video of me reacting to it. And basically what happened was, I came into the game and there were all of these characters in this village that wanted to talk to me, and I didn't really know who the hell I should talk to, so I saw this girl who was standing on this little platform, this little stage, and I thought I'd talk to her. And then she obviously starts communicating with me in a language that I can't understand, and then all of a sudden, this cutscene starts to play, and it's her doing a dance sequence. I'm thinking, what is going on? I just started the game, I don't know my head from my asshole, and I've spoken to a random woman, and now she's doing a dance sequence on a platform, and then to top it all off, there was no sound. Like, obviously it was supposed to be accompanied by a song, and there was no song. It was just silence. It was this girl randomly doing this dance sequence, and it just went on and on and on. And I'm sitting there going, what the fuck am I playing? I couldn't believe it. Just the timing of it. You know, you don't start a game, particularly a Monster Hunter game, and talk to the people at the start, and then all of a sudden be foisted with the experience of some girl dancing on a platform to no one. Like, she wasn't even dancing to anyone, it was just me there. And I couldn't even hear her. There was no sound. I just couldn't believe it. It was, and to be completely honest, that would be the most accurate first impression of Monster Hunter Online, because the whole game is basically like that in a nutshell. That is Monster Hunter Online, that first experience that I had. The whole game was a bit like that. So, yeah, and then you start interacting with the community, you literally go into the main areas where people hang around. It's just a bunch of scantily clad women. And they literally, it's like they're fucking posing. The way in which the female characters would stand was like a pose for an erotic photo shoot, and it was just unbelievable. You know precisely who was on the other side of the screens of the people playing. And you just go, fucking hell, like, do I really want to be a female character alongside these people? So obviously, when the opportunity arose, I made a male character, and ugh. I then obviously undertook to try the game, and I played it a bit. I enjoyed the combat a lot because it was built on 3rd gen, which in my opinion was the best generation of Monster Hunter. It was really striking a balance between rigidity and improving upon the mess that which was 1st gen, which wasn't fully addressed in 2nd gen. And I enjoyed that aspect of it, but certain things had changed drastically in the ranking system, which really served to trivialize everything that came before G-Rank. And armor crafting was just totally different. Armor crafting wasn't like Monster Hunter anymore, it was just a different thing, and I didn't really like it all that much. But more than anything else, my progress through the game didn't feel like it really meant anything. They completely failed to give you that sense of accomplishment while going through the quest lists, doing all the urgent quests and progressing from one star to the next. They totally failed to give you that sense of accomplishment, and that was one of the reasons why I didn't play much of the game. And then all of a sudden the game shut down, and I hadn't really done all that much, but I didn't regret it because I knew precisely why I didn't play much of it, and that was never going to change. The only thing that was going to change was me, over a very, very long period of time, eventually accumulating a number of hours in the game. But I was never going to sit down and only play Monster Hunter Online for a long period. That was never going to happen, because it just didn't grab me in that sort of way. It was Monster Hunter, but also not Monster Hunter, and I wasn't a huge fan of that. Anyway, that's going to conclude this recording, and I do thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time I'm doing Monster Hunter or anything else that you'd like to watch. I have a sneaking suspicion that the next recording I do will be a Souls game, probably Dark Souls, but I will warn you that I am getting dangerously close to starting a new live stream series in Dark Souls 2, which will be very interesting because I haven't recorded Dark Souls 2 since 2016, so that'll be interesting. I do thank you all for watching, and I will bid you all farewell for now. Bye bye.